Be careful of the spirit of slothfulness or laziness. Be careful of laziness. I tell you, the Bible esteems hard work and condemns laziness. So once slothfulness comes in, laziness comes in, watch out. Poverty will follow close behind. If you're lazy, you're in trouble. Proverbs 24, verse 30 and 34 talks about the sluggard, the lazy man. What did he say? I went past the field of the sluggard, past the vineyard of the man who lacks judgment. Thorns come up everywhere, ground covered with weeds, stone wall in ruins. I apply my heart to what I observe and learn a lesson from what I saw. What is that? A little sleep, a little slumber, little folding of the hands to rest, and then what? Poverty will come upon you like a bandit, scarcely like an armed man. This is so painfully true, you know. And let me suggest something to you, my friends. Laziness is a habit. And once we embrace it, it will destroy us. It's a habit. So don't allow slothfulness to become a part of our lives. 2 Corinthians 3:10, the Apostle Paul put it so bluntly. If a man does not work, he does not eat. Simple as that. Laziness. This is so relevant, particularly in certain cultures where laziness becomes a way of life. Of course, Singapore, not so bad. But there are many countries, where slothfulness is almost like a spirit that dominates. And then you find that socially it's very hard to live. During those years when I was still engaged in missions in Thailand, I've observed there are villages in the mountains, and there are certain cultures or people groups in the mountains where before the gospel comes to them, they were lazy and self-indulgent. I remember one village particularly when we first entered the village, I found all the men doing nothing but smoking opium, during the day, and they left all the work to the women. So I found the women doing everything, cooking, farming, looking after children. All the men do is just sit around, smoke, and then just laze around. Then when the gospel began to penetrate, and many of the men got converted, what happened is that when the gospel come into their life, it didn't just give them a spiritual lift, it also gave them a social lift. They begin to understand their roles and responsibility as men. They're supposed to provide for their family and all that. They begin to go to work. And then you know what? There was a social lift that took place in the village. Some years later, when I went back to the same village, I discovered the whole village looks different now. The place looked clean. Everything is upgraded, The man goes to work. The women look after the home, cook and all that. And the whole social life of the village begin to rise. And I think slothfulness actually brings about, a curse of poverty. And I want to challenge us, my brothers and sisters, that don't ever despise hard work. Abundance came to the village, and we saw how the gospel can transform a community. Let it transform our life as well. Beware of the spirit of slothfulness. Here's number 3. When you do invest your money, beware of the monster of greed. And we talked enough about it tonight already. A greedy man brings trouble to his family, and one who hates bribe will live. That's what Proverbs says. So watch out again and again for this monster of greediness. Greed is the number one killer of investors. Greed is a powerful, powerful force that draws us away from God. And I tell you, any one of you who have invested in shares and all that, you will know how powerful greed can be, right? When you put your money in there, then when the price goes up, you sell. After that, the price go up some more. What do you say to yourself? Shouldn't sell lah. You never think about the fact that you just make money from it, All you care about is the money you didn't make. What's driving that? It's greed, And you're never satisfied, you're never happy. I think we have to watch this. It's like, greed is like little birds in the nest, baby birds in the nest. And then when the mother bird come in with the worm, what do all the baby birds do? The mouth open wide, and then saying what? More. It's like that, Greed is like that. Never enough, always more. And you mark my words, my brothers and sisters, greed will ultimately get us into trouble. And we really need to watch this, because right now we have just made a decision, right? To allow it to really propagate now. We have a platform to propagate it now in the nation. And we ought to watch this. Now, I understand where our leaders are coming from. I understand that. But only thing I would say to you is, let's make sure that we as a church do not fall into that trap. You don't go and do those things that we have lobbied against and things like that. You hearing me? And later I want to talk to you a bit more about that. But I tell you, greed will ultimately get us into trouble. Do you remember I used to tell you this story about a pastor who loves peanuts. Remember that one? Remember? This pastor had a weakness for peanuts. He loved peanuts. Every time he see peanuts, he just compulsive have to eat. No, don't eat, cannot. So he went to visit a member in his church, old lady who was sick in the hospital. So he went to the hospital, saw the old lady, do the usual pastoral thing. So how are you? And this and that. And then on the side of his eyes, he noticed there's a bowl of peanut, next to the bed. So without even thinking, just instinctively, he started eating the peanuts. Before he knew it, he ate more than half the bowl. So he turned to the old lady and he realized, oh dear, what have I done? He says, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do, but I just can't help it, I'm just so greedy for peanuts. Old lady turned to him and said, oh, it's okay. After all, I don't like peanuts. So then he said, oh, then what's the bowl of peanuts doing here? And he popped another one into his mouth. And then the old lady said, oh, I don't like peanuts, but I love chocolate. So I just sucked the chocolate off the peanut and throw it away. Ooh. You're greedy? It get you into trouble. Big time trouble. So I'm telling you, my brothers and sisters, greed will get you into all sorts of trouble. In fact, it seems to me like the greed always keeps company with get rich quick and slothfulness. Now, you think about these three things, get rich quick, slothfulness, greed. You put them together, they form the unholy trinity, in investment. These three things come together and you're in trouble. And once these three things come together, it will turn every investor into a gambler. It turns an investor into a gambler. How do you know if you're gambling? What exactly constitutes gambling? Can I give you 4 key elements? Because of the where we are today in a journey as a nation, I feel I need to address this. So let me just give you very quickly 4 things that tell you you're gambling. How do you know you're gambling? 4 things. Number 1,